I'm Yasmine and I am a Ghanaian British spoken word poet and writer, born, raised and based in southwest London. So RITE to Party was sort of birthed as a result of me wanting to see like more like black working class Londoners in like a social housing like environment, because that's kind of where that's where I sort of raised, and like a lot of the time when I was like doing theatre, so I started to write RITE to Party in like the end of 2021. It sort of felt like if people like me were in those environments, the sort of portrayal wasn't like as joyful as I'd experienced it. So I wanted to sort of tell a love story that centered these two like young people who could like experience joy and like look back to what their parents did, whether it was them like playing a record on a Sunday or like having like a house party, whatever, and like really celebrate that. I guess it's sort of like RITE to Party is kind of a sort of ode to them and their joy. I thought it had settled when I found out the news of like being shortlisted for the Bruntwood. But then, yeah, I think I was just a bit shocked. Yeah. It feels very surreal because again, like the Bruntwood Prize had been something that I've been following for a while as sort of like a deadline or like a sort of like compass point to be like, okay, once you finish the play, submit it and see how it goes. I never expected the play to be shortlisted for it. At best, I was like, at least someone will read it and it'll be nice. And I was like, if I get to the shortlist, I was like, cool, I'll get some feedback and like keep pushing it forward. But to be shortlisted is, it feels, kind of insane. Took a lot of collaboration, I would say, which is really nice. Because like, as a writer, you often like, well, I find myself sitting in a silo sometimes being like, I don't know whether this works. I don't know, like, if the characters are like coming across in the way I'd want them to. So I did like a lot of like development programs. So I started it off at uni and it was the first 20 pages. And then I got two like amazing actors to come on and like just scratch it with me. And that was really nice because I could be like, oh, like now I can hear what it sounds like. And then sort of incorporate that sound language into the play because I love sound and I love audio, and I was like, yeah, this is something that feels quite integral to the piece. So I guess the process was a lot of like writing it, putting it on its feet, and then coming back to it again, which I think is so important. And yeah, just the support of people being like, we believe in your piece, so you should believe in it too. I love a bit of a concept album, and how they sort of tell stories using music as a vessel, but again are just telling stories. So a big one for me is like Sometimes I Might Be Introvert by Little Sims, or like To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar.